The President of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Shri Surendralal Mehta, will now deliver a welcome address.
Our esteemed Rashtrapati Ji, Shri Pranab Mukherjee, Rajyapal Ji Shri Shankar Narayanan, Mukhyamantri Ji Shri Prithviraj Chavan, Shri Narayan Murthy, Srimati Ila Bhatt, other distinguished personages on the stage, and my dear sisters and brothers. Today is the 125th birth anniversary of the founder of the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Kulapati Munshi Ji, who was born on December 30, 1887. On behalf of the entire far-flung Bhavan's family, I am privileged to extend a very warm welcome to all of you. We are beholden to Rashtrapati Ji for so graciously accepting our invitation to inaugurate the twin celebration of the Amrit Mahotsav of the Bhavan and the 125th birth anniversary of the Kulapati Munshi Ji. The august office which Shri Pranab Mukherjee adorns now is going to be richer and stronger because he brings to it his great administrative acumen, profound experience, and singular statesmanship. Committed as our Rashtrapati Ji is to our great constitution, to our democratic credo and traditions, and to our motherland's cultural values, we the people of India can breathe freely and feel secure. In Sri Shankar Narayan Ji, the people of Maharashtra have a Rajyapal who has enhanced the dignity and value of his office by his unobtrusive but effective leadership. Mukhyamantri Sri Prithviraj Chavan has endeared himself to the people of this state with his sincerity, astute stewardship, unruffled demeanor, and capacity to work untiringly. Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan also expresses its deep feelings of gratitude to Srimati Ila Bhatt, Sri Narayan Murthy, and Kishori Amonkar for having accepted so gracefully our invitation to become honorary members of the Bhavan. Padma Vibhushan and other innumerable highest national and international honors have come naturally to all the three of them because their achievements are Himalayan and their service to the people of this world in their chosen field of endeavor is phenomenal. In the past 74 years, Bhavan has thus honored 43 great women and men who have either served the humanity with great distinction and originality, or who have reached the highest peak of excellence in their chosen field, or who have rendered exceptional service to Bhavan. They include Swami Gangeshwaranand Ji, Mother Teresa, Dalai Lama, Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar Patel, Dr. Zakir Hussain, Jai Prakash Narayan, Dr. P.V. Kane, Dr. Fenner Brockway, J.R.D. Tata, M.S. Subbulakshmi, and other giants. The Bhavan also expresses its deep feelings of gratitude to several distinguished leaders and eminent personages from the various walks of life who have sent their messages of congratulations and goodwill to Bhavan on this auspicious occasion. Shankaracharya of Kachi blesses the Bhavan that may it continue to spread Indian culture till the Surya and Chandra exist. Maulana Wahiduddin Khan Sahab praises the aims and objectives of Bhavan to inculcate a value-based life and universally promote ethical and spiritual values. The Archbishop of Oxford, Cardinal Gasses, looks back with pride and gratitude to God for the accomplishment of Bhavan, especially its services in educational and social development programs for the people. His Holiness the Dalai Lama, who is an honorary member of the Bhavan, admires the Bhavan's efforts to promote India's spiritual, ethical, social, and educational heritage. He writes, I believe that one of the keys to the Bhavan's success lies in its long-standing emphasis on encouraging students to give practical expression to the noble values they uphold. The Vice President of India, Sri Hamid Ansari, salutes the vision and idealism of Kulapati Munshi and describes Bhavan as a premier institution for preserving, nurturing, and propagating aspects of Indian culture throughout the world. Our Prime Minister Shri Manmohan Singh, who has been a consistent supporter of Bhavan, writes, the Bhavan's emphasis on knowledge, value and interfaith harmony is ever more relevant in the modern era when societies are coming under increasing pressures from divisive ideologies and extremist violence. Shri Manmohan Singh ji says, I join countless others in sending my best wishes to all those associated with the Bhavan's work and contributing to making our world a better place to live in. Srimati Sonia Gandhi writes, Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan has won a well-dressed reputation in upholding high standards in the service of the educational and cultural life of the nation. Bhavan has stood for the world is one family and continuously renewed its belief that there are elements in all cultures that transcend boundaries and bind people together. My heartiest congratulations to all who have worked and contributed to making the institution only one of a kind. There are many such messages received from eminent personages to all of whom the Bhavan expresses its deep sense of gratitude. What was the purpose of Munshi in conceiving and founding Bhavan? I cannot describe it as succinctly as our former president of Bhavan, Sri R. Venkatraman, had done 25 years ago when he, as Rashtrapati, inaugurated the twin celebrations of the Golden Jubilee of the Bhavan and centenary of Munshi ji in this very auditorium. On that occasion, my father Girdhari Lal ji, the then president of Bhavan, had the privilege of welcoming Sri Venkatraman, who put Munshi ji's vision in founding Bhavan in a nutshell. Said Sri Venkatraman ji, and I quote, it would be instructive to remember that Kulapati Munshi founded the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan a full decade before independence. He foresaw that independent India would need the binding force of a pan-Indian movement, a pan-Indian spirit, and a pan-Indian ethos, which would present to contemporary Indians a glimpse of the composite magnificence of ancient times. Kulapati Munshi knew that the government and the constitution are one thing, the people's own inner vision is another. And so the Bhavan was launched to supplement the political unity of India with the cultural and spiritual unity of India, unquote. Sisters and brothers, we will understand this better through the basic ideals that Munshi ji had put forward for the Bhavan, and they are Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, that is the world is one family, Sarvadharma Samabhav, that is equal love and respect for all religions, Amritam tu Vidya, knowledge is nectar, and Anubhadra Kratavo Yantu Vishwatah, let noble thoughts come to us from every side. For the past 7.5 decades, Bhavan has been striving ceaselessly to fulfill its objectives through its 117 kendras in India and 7 abroad, and over 375 institutions and units engaged in scores of varied cultural and educational activities. Munshi ji considered Bhavan as the instrument of God. Bhavan's educational spectrum covers subjects ranging from Sanskrit studies and research, Indology, Indian culture and comparative religious studies, Indian and foreign languages, Indian astrology and yoga, institutes for the study and research in Gandhian and human values, and also public affairs administration, promotion of India's performing arts through its school of Sangeet, Nritya and Drama, to preliminary and secondary education with the emphasis on inculcating moral and ethical values through its 87 schools in India, 3 abroad, colleges of arts, science, commerce, engineering, management, mass communication, computer studies, and information technology, etc. Bhavan is one of the leading publishers of books, having published more than 2,000 titles. It publishes magazines in English, Sanskrit, Hindi, and Gujarati. Its centers regularly organize lectures, discourses, seminars, and workshops, and run libraries. To continue to give the country Sanskrit scholars and pandits, Bhavan Sanskrit Mahavidyalaya gives free food, residential accommodation, and free study up to MA, MSc, and MCom to its students. At the same time, Bhavan's Gandhi Institute of Computer Education and Information Technology gives totally free computer education to the economically weaker youth of the country through its 40 centers all over India, including in the backward and tribal areas. Our Prime Minister Shri Manmohan Singh ji gave a donation of rupees 10 crores from the Prime Minister's Fund to Bhavan to open new centers in the tribal areas. So far, 260,000 students have passed through this institute. Here I must mention that my dear colleague, Shri Murli Devra, who is in charge of this institute, has contributed immensely towards its development by regularly bringing in donations from his friends. This ability of Shri Devra was acclaimed by Shri Manmohan Singh Ji during one of his several visits to the Bhavan. Many of our schools, kendras, and institutes like SP Jain Institute of Management serve the poor, deprived children, students, and men and women through their varied programs. As a part of celebrations, we at the Bhavan are committed to increase our social welfare services manifold. We also have plans to expand our cultural and educational activities in a big way as part of these celebrations. We have faith that, as always, the philanthropist individuals and organizations will extend their helping hand to us. As Munshi Ji used to say, the Bhavan's work is God's work. He maintained that the grace of God, blessings of the sages of all faiths, goodwill of the good people, and commitment and spirit of Bhavan's workers, both honorary and stipendiary, are the greatest assets of the Bhavan. Munshi Ji had always acknowledged the contribution of honorary personages, many of them men and women of great eminence, who serve the apex bodies of Bhavan at the center and in the kendras. Munshi Ji always loved the Bhavan staff as his own children and was extremely proud of the core staff of the Bhavan. In one of his Kulapati's letter, he had written, "It has been a great pleasure to me to acknowledge our gratitude to the core member of the staff who with single-minded devotion have built up an efficient and loyal team. Their life has been woven in the tissues of Bhavan." In this context, I would like to share an information with you. Actually, there is one more event which we are celebrating inside the Bhavan. This is the Golden Jubilee year of the service of the Bhavan CEO and Executive Secretary Sri H.N. Dasto, who was picked up from Bhavan's Mass Communication College by Munshi Ji himself, and who has served the Bhavan with selfless dedication and unflinching integrity for half a century. I know Sri Dastu, who struggles to keep a low profile, would not like it, but then I had to say it. Sisters and brothers, men in institutions are remembered with gratitude when they enrich the lives of people in a positive, creative way and help them face the challenges of life with hope, courage, confidence, standing tall among such giants by virtue of immensity of his contribution is Kulapati Dr. K.M. Munshi. Such was his mind-boggling virtuosity and versatility that it is well nigh impossible to describe his Himalayan achievement in so many diverse fields. A freedom fighter and close associate of Gandhiji and Sardar Patel, Munshi's contribution to the making of our constitution and his performance as Agent General in Hyderabad, the Home Minister of the then Bombay State in 1930s, the Union Food and Agriculture Minister and Governor of the UP have gone into history. A front-rank lawyer, one of the greatest literary giants of Gujarati language, teacher, philosopher, Indologist, environmentalist, administrator, statesman, social reformer, champion of the worthy causes, builder of institutions, and above all, a promoter and sustainer of the cultural and spiritual heritage of India, as also of the unity and integrity of our motherland. Munshi Ji strived hard to demolish the artificial walls created between man and man in the name of caste, creed, religion, economic and social status, etc. Today, the entire Bhavan family bows to Munshi Ji in humble reverence on his 125th birthday. I once again welcome our esteemed Rashtrapati Ji and you all. I would now request Rashtrapati Ji to graciously light the lamp to mark the inauguration of the year-long celebration of the Bhavan's Platinum Jubilee and the 125th birth anniversary of Munshi.
जय विद्या भवन भारती जय जय विद्या भवन हमारा जय जय विद्या भवन भारती जय जय विद्या भवन हमारा ज्ञान विज्ञान की ज्योत जगाता अमृतमय विद्या